The seas of the Elizabethan era teemed with adventure and untold mysteries waiting to be discovered. English ships, daring and bold, sailed forth to explore new lands, driven by the promise of riches and the thrill of the unknown. They sought wealth and glory for themselves and their queen, Queen Elizabeth I, who encouraged their daring exploits. Amongst these adventurers were men who lived by a different code, the pirates and privateers, who often blurred the lines between lawful and lawless. These sea dogs of England, as they were called, played a crucial role in shaping the destiny of England, becoming both feared and revered. They challenged the might of Spain, engaging in fierce naval battles, and laid the foundation for what would become the vast British Empire. These men were not simply lawless rogues. They were often skilled sailors and navigators, respected for their expertise. They were often skilled sailors and navigators who could chart a course through the most treacherous waters. They knew the seas like the back of their hands, navigating with precision and confidence. Their ships, while smaller than those of the Spanish, were fast and maneuverable, allowing them to outpace and outmaneuver their larger adversaries. They relied on cunning tactics and superior seamanship to outwit their enemies, often turning the tide of battle in their favor. The allure of gold and silver was strong, driving many to take great risks in pursuit of these treasures. But for many, it was the thrill of the unknown and the desire to test their mettle against the best that drew them to the life of a seafarer, seeking adventure beyond the horizon. The line between pirate and privateer was often blurred, with both groups engaging in similar activities on the high seas. Both groups attacked ships and plundered their cargo, driven by the same motivations of wealth and power. However, privateers operated with the express permission of the English crown, giving them a veneer of legitimacy. They were given official documents known as letters of marque, which authorized their actions against enemy ships. These letters allowed them to attack and capture enemy ships, primarily Spanish vessels returning from the New World laden with treasure, turning the tide of wealth in England's favor. Their exploits, a mixture of daring raids, naval battles, and exploration, captured the imagination of the English people, becoming the stuff of legend. This made them heroes to some and villains to others, their reputations as complex as their deeds. Their story is a tale of ambition, greed, and the relentless pursuit of power on the high seas, a testament to the daring spirit of the Elizabethan age. The distinction between a pirate and a privateer was often one of legality rather than morality. While both engaged in similar activities, their motivations and the consequences of their actions were viewed through different lenses. Both groups preyed on shipping, plundered cargo, and engaged in acts of violence on the high seas. Their targets were often the same: merchant vessels laden with valuable goods. What set privateers apart was their legal status. They operated with the blessing of the crown, carrying letters of marque that authorized their actions. Pirates, on the other hand, were considered enemies of all nations. They operated outside the law, attacking ships of any nation and claiming the spoils for themselves. Their actions were driven by personal gain and a blatant disregard for authority. They were the outlaws of the sea, answerable to no one. Their reputation for brutality and lawlessness spread fear across the oceans. Privateers, while engaging in similar activities, were bound by a set of rules. They were expected to adhere to a code of conduct, which included treating prisoners humanely and reporting their captures. Their actions were technically considered acts of war against enemy nations. Any treasure they captured was to be shared with the crown, which took a significant portion as its own. This arrangement provided a veneer of legitimacy to their exploits. This distinction, however, was easily blurred. Privateers, eager for wealth and driven by greed, often ignored the finer points of their letters of marque. They sometimes attacked ships of non-enemy nations, blurring the lines between lawful privateering and outright piracy. They attacked ships of non-enemy nations and engaged in acts of piracy for personal gain. The lure of treasure and the thrill of the chase often led them astray. The line between sanctioned privateering and outright piracy often became blurred in the heat of battle and the pursuit of riches. In the end, the difference between a pirate and a privateer was as thin as the edge of a cutlass. Queen Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen, was a shrewd and pragmatic ruler. She understood the potential benefits of unleashing her sea dogs upon the Spanish. England at the time was a relatively small island nation. It was dwarfed in size and power by the mighty Spanish Empire. Spain controlled vast territories in the New World. Their galleons, laden with gold and silver, were tempting targets. Elizabeth, unwilling to engage in open warfare with Spain, found a way to challenge their dominance without formally declaring war. She turned a blind eye to the activities of privateers. In some cases, she actively encouraged their attacks on Spanish shipping. She even provided her tacit approval to some of the most famous privateers of the age, including Sir Francis Drake and Sir Walter Raleigh. The Queen's support for privateering was a calculated risk. It provided her with a way to weaken Spain, disrupt their trade, and fill the coffers of the English treasury. The riches brought back by privateers helped to fund the English Navy and support the burgeoning English colonial ventures. Section 4. Sir Francis Drake, Terror of the Spanish Main. No figure better embodies the spirit of Elizabethan privateering than Sir Francis Drake. He was a man of many talents and a complex character whose actions left an indelible mark on history. Born into humble beginnings, Drake rose to become one of the most celebrated and feared seafarers of his age. His journey from obscurity to fame is a testament to his extraordinary skills and relentless ambition. He was a skilled navigator, a ruthless fighter, and a shrewd businessman. His ability to navigate treacherous waters and engage in fierce battles made him a formidable opponent. His daring exploits against the Spanish made him a legend in his own time. Stories of his bravery and cunning spread far and wide, inspiring both fear and admiration. Drake's most famous exploit was his circumnavigation of the globe between 1577 and 1580. This incredible journey showcased his exceptional navigational skills and his unyielding determination. This voyage, undertaken with the Queen's blessing, was both a feat of exploration and a privateering expedition. It was a mission that combined the pursuit of knowledge with the quest for wealth. Drake plundered Spanish settlements in South America. His attacks were swift and devastating, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. He captured treasure ships laden with gold, silver, and jewels. These riches not only enriched Drake, but also bolstered England's economy and naval power. His return to England in 1580, with his ship the Golden Hind laden with treasure, made him a national hero and further enraged the Spanish. His success was celebrated across the nation. Drake's exploits against the Spanish Armada in 1588 solidified his place in English history. His strategic brilliance and fearless leadership were crucial in the defeat of the formidable Spanish fleet. His daring raids on Spanish ports and his role in the defeat of the Armada cemented his reputation as a fearless leader and a skilled naval commander. His actions had a lasting impact on the balance of power in Europe. He became a symbol of English naval power and a thorn in the side of the Spanish. His legacy as a masterful seafarer and a national hero endures to this day. Section 5. Striking a blow against Spain, the impact of privateering. The activities of English privateers had a significant impact on the balance of power in Europe. Their constant harassment of Spanish shipping lines disrupted the flow of treasure from the New World to Spain. This weakened the Spanish economy and undermined their ability to finance wars and maintain their vast empire. Privateering also provided the English crown with a much-needed source of revenue. The crown's share of the spoils of privateering expeditions helped to fund the English navy, bolster the treasury, and support the growing English colonial ventures. This influx of wealth contributed to England's rise as a naval power. The success of English privateers also had a profound impact on the morale of both nations. For the English, the exploits of Drake and other privateers fostered a sense of national pride and demonstrated the growing power of the English navy. For the Spanish, the constant threat of English privateers was a source of frustration and humiliation. It highlighted the vulnerability of their maritime trade and their inability to protect their interests in the New World.